June 12, 2025. It was an ordinary afternoon in Ahmedabad. The sun was blazing over Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport as Air India Flight 171 prepared for departure. This was a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, one of the most advanced aircraft in the skies. Its destination, London Gatwick. On board were 228 passengers and 12 crew members. For most of them, it was just another journey. Some were returning home. Others were traveling for business or vacation. No one knew this flight would end in disaster within minutes. At 1:38 p.m. local time, the plane lifted off the runway. Everything seemed normal, at first. But barely 30 seconds into the flight, something went terribly wrong. The pilots issued an urgent distress call to air traffic control. Thrust not achieved. Losing altitude. Mayday. Mayday. The Dreamliner had climbed to just 625 feet when it began to lose power. Witnesses on the ground described the aircraft as struggling to stay airborne. CCTV footage from a nearby building showed the plane flying unusually low with its landing gear still deployed. Its nose pitched upwards, but it wasn't gaining altitude. Moments later, Flight 171 crashed into the BJ Medical College hostel, just 1.5 kilometers from the runway. A massive fireball engulfed the building as explosions ripped through the wreckage. The impact killed nearly everyone on board and several people on the ground. Incredibly, there was one survivor, a British national, Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, found trapped in the wreckage but alive. His survival is nothing short of a miracle. The crash of Flight 171 has shaken India and the global aviation community. This is the first fatal crash of a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, a plane touted for its safety and reliability. So, what exactly happened in those critical moments? Why did one of the world's most sophisticated aircraft fall out of the sky? The clues so far. In the days following the crash, investigators began piecing together the timeline. The most significant clue came from the deployment of the Ram Air Turbine, or RAT. This is an emergency device that provides power to essential systems when the main engines fail or there is a total electrical power loss. The fact that the RAT deployed indicates a serious emergency. Another clue, both engines appeared to have failed simultaneously. This is extraordinarily rare. Modern jet engines are designed with multiple redundancies. Even if one engine fails, the other can typically keep the aircraft flying. For both to fail so soon after takeoff is almost unheard of. Adding to the mystery, the landing gear and flaps were still deployed during the entire brief flight. These components create significant drag, and without proper thrust, they can prevent the aircraft from climbing. Investigative theories. Several possible explanations are being considered. Fuel contamination. Was the fuel loaded onto Flight 171 contaminated with water or debris? Contaminated fuel can cause engines to flame out. Investigators are examining fuel samples from Ahmedabad Airport. Bird strike. Ahmedabad is near water bodies that attract birds. A bird strike could have damaged critical engine components, though no bird remains were immediately found on the runway. Pilot error. Did the pilots forget to retract the landing gear and flaps in time? Or was there a procedural oversight that exacerbated the loss of thrust? Technical malfunction. Was there a catastrophic failure of the Boeing 787's complex electronic systems? Could an electrical fault have caused both engines to lose power simultaneously? Sabotage. Though there's no evidence yet, investigators are not ruling out the possibility of deliberate tampering. The black boxes. Within 3 days, recovery teams found both the cockpit voice recorder, CVR, and flight data recorder, FDR. These black boxes are now being analyzed by India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, with assistance from the US National Transportation Safety Board and Boeing engineers. The CVR will reveal the pilot's conversations and any alarms or sounds in the cockpit during the final moments. The FDR contains detailed data on engine performance, airspeed, altitude, and control inputs. Together, they hold the key to understanding what went wrong. Preliminary findings are expected in the coming weeks, but a full investigation could take months or even years. The wider impact. The crash has sent shockwaves through the aviation industry. Air India has temporarily grounded its remaining fleet of Boeing 787 Dreamliners for safety inspections. Regulators around the world are closely monitoring the situation. Boeing and GE, which manufactures the 787's engines, are facing intense scrutiny. Families of the victims are demanding transparency and quick compensation. Aviation experts are calling for a thorough review of maintenance practices and emergency procedures at Indian airports. This is India's deadliest air disaster in nearly 3 decades, and a stark reminder of how even advanced technology is not immune to failure. The road ahead. As investigators sift through the wreckage and data, one thing is certain: the answers they uncover will have global implications. The world is watching closely. Was Flight 171 brought down by mechanical failure, human error, or something far more sinister? The tragic story of Air India Flight 171 is still unfolding. But one question haunts us all: could this disaster have been prevented? This was Air India Flight 171. One of the darkest days in India's aviation history. Stay tuned for updates as we uncover more about this tragedy. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay informed on this and other aviation stories.